Georgia O'Keeffe, an international icon with a story that has continued to be an inspiration to young minds. She played a pivotal role in the development of American modernism and can be known as one of the most significant artists during the 20th century. She represented herself in her art straying from the postmodern ideas. Georgia O'Keeffe was born on November 15, 1887 on a quiet farm near Sun Prairie, Wisconsin. From her childhood, her artistic abilities were recognized and encouraged, and she chased her dreams. With the support of her parents, O'Keeffe was able to graduate high school in 1905. After getting her diploma, she yearned for more education, and college was her ticket to success. Georgia O'Keeffe attended the Art Institute of Chicago, winning the William Merritt Chase Still Life Prize for her oil painting Untitled in 1908, and she accepted it with the utmost pride. Desiring even more education, she attended the University of Virginia in 1914 and was introduced to author Wesley Dow. Dow encouraged an intellectual and imaginative process of making art that rooted in personal expression and harmonious design. Georgia O'Keeffe began to experiment with Dow's theories, painting within the elements of composition, exposing lines, mass, and color. She quickly began her endeavors and sketched a series of charcoal drawings. After completing the series, O'Keeffe mailed a few of them to Anita Pulitzer. Pulitzer brought the drawings to the attention of Alfred Stieglitz in January of 1916 and perceived the innocent beauty within them, realizing Georgia O'Keeffe's potential. Without her permission, Stieglitz opened a gallery containing her intimate works in his world-famous gallery. O'Keeffe was determined, but she wasn't expecting the dramatic enclave of fame to procreate from a simple series of drawings. Stieglitz deceived her and butchered her name, referring to her as Virginia. She was infuriated, for he stole her reputability. She quickly identified her embezzler and was rudely introduced to Alfred Stieglitz in the summer of 1916, leaving her unimpressed. Although the tension was undeniable at first, they quickly began friends. He photographed, she painted, and undoubtedly their friendship turned to infatuation. Georgia O'Keeffe expressed the same feelings of Alfred Stieglitz, and they married in 1924. This was a particularly scandalous marriage, with Stieglitz twice the age of O'Keeffe. But age or scrutiny didn't faze the couple. After marrying, they began on their collective artistic endeavor. O'Keeffe and Stieglitz's artistic undertaking was aided by Stieglitz and his circle, whom championed modernism in the United States. This circle included Marsden Hartley, Arthur Dove, John Maureen, and Paul Strand. They were prerogatives, influencing one another and collectively influencing the American modernism movement. O'Keeffe was swayed by her comrades, and by the mid-1920s she was recognized as one of the most significant artists of the time, and her art began to command high prices. During their marriage, Alfred Stieglitz promoted Georgia O'Keeffe's work, and he funded her on a journey of rediscovery. In that very year, O'Keeffe painted Cow's Skull red, white, and blue. This was her depiction of America, in which she saw the beauty and the simplicity, appreciating nature in its finest. Cow's Skull, red, white, and blue was actualized while Georgia O'Keeffe traveled in 1931, for she was on a journey to go home. This journey was not only a physical one, but also an emotional move, defining home. Home, or the American spirit in which she wished to depict, could only be found in herself, for her colleagues were displaying the spirit in views of dilapidation and distrust. She used a weathered cow skull to represent this enduring spirit of America. Although she made it as a joke on the concept of the great American painting, the picture is a quintessential icon of the American West. This was perceived internationally and became her most popular work of art, for it had shown society to view the idea of the individual spirit within one another. She hand-in-hand delineated the severity of America's view on itself. Judy Chicago has recognized Georgia O'Keeffe in her artistic novel The Dinner Party for her extreme adroitness into the American modernistic approximation. The novel, written by a pioneer in feminist art and history, illustrates more than just social movements, but the woman behind the feminist culture. Chicago distinguishes O'Keeffe as the most contemporary woman included in her pantheon, and Georgia O'Keeffe's plate is the most three-dimensional. For Judy Chicago, its increased height and deep relief represent the extent to which opportunities for creative expression had grown for women. The International Honors Quote was created to identify women who had achieved greatness, and O'Keeffe surpassed the qualifications. Judy Chicago gave Georgia O'Keeffe the last spot in the third wing of her triangular table, representing the age of evolution. The International Honors Quilt was created in honor of all women, and O'Keeffe's quilt illustrates the colors and symbols that encompassed her. Georgia O'Keeffe's most famous work is rendered in the foreground, with the prominent weather cow skull. Surrounding the skull lays a large red border, with flowers within. The quilt was actualized to represent O'Keeffe's lifetime and her dominant set of artworks. When Judy Chicago's installation was publicized, Georgia O'Keeffe was reinstated into the public eye and was finally recognized for her positive actions in front of a new, inspirable generation. This had occurred 2 years before her death, and O'Keeffe loved every second of it. Georgia O'Keeffe surpassed the qualifications set by Chicago and can be known as one of the most influential artistic women in the 20th century. Throughout her life, Georgia O'Keeffe created a paramount set of artworks, producing more than 1,000 pieces in the span of merely 60 years. She was a modernist woman, curving and straying negative ideals from the American society. She is an internationally recognized woman, for she pulverized the 20th century gender principles and twisted the secluded way of conformity in America. Her simplistic, realistic, and regenerative voice on paper is still taught today, for she will continue to inspire her natural stimulant on society. Georgia O'Keeffe can finally be recognized in the highest of honors, and that is the honor of provoking thought when a woman wasn't usually able to. With only her mind, a brush, and a blank canvas, Georgia O'Keeffe has inspired countless young minds, procreating the American modernist movement. Many see her as just an artist, but she is an inspiration.